self-evident. All men and women created by
walked in this place and said, wow, this is a huge dome. Bozeman's got it all right.
Stage 2.
Go.
Flight directors, go for launch. We have liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Max Q. Vehicle supersonic. Stage separation.
You guys know what this represents? What it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Give us a hint on your decision.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. This is the calm before the storm. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Just Our Take. This is episode 75. I am your host, John, and this is my co-host, Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Doing really well, John. Thank you.
Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth.
You know what? Today's a good day. Today's a good day. We're in a mid to long term, little bit of a rental, and so we're not going to be moving around every couple of days while our house gets fixed. So today's a good day.
Okay, we'll take that. So I'm wearing the new MAGA hat, and it is the Just Our Take version. Check this out, Dave. Let's hang on now.
It doesn't glow in the dark.
Look.
Oh, look at that.
It's the dark MAGA. It's the dark MAGA hat. We're going to be putting these on the page, and now's as good a time as any to tell you about our show sponsor, Steel Rebel Design. Steel Rebel Design makes all the hats, shirts, cups, hoodies, and everything else. All the merch from the Just Our Take show. They do a great job too. And they also, if you happen to have a family gathering or a company picnic or something like that you want to put together some shirts for, she can take care of you from 5 to 500. She'll give you a great price, she'll give you a great deal and great quality. So Kim over at Steel Rebel Design. And as soon as we get these up on the, that's right, Dark MAGA.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've gotten so many compliments on this hat. It says it says just our take across the back in black. So, and then on the front, it's got the puff stitch, Make America Great Again. It's stealth, so you've got to look at it. People say, what's that say? It's like, oh, wow, that is cool. So thank you to Kim and company at Steel Rebel Design. And we will put these up as quick as possible so that you guys can have one too.
Yeah, you need to give someone a trigger warning. What's that say? Trigger warning. Make America Great Again.
I'm digging it. I really am.
It looks good.
So it is the calm before the storm. And I say that because Dave and I were having a conversation this morning talking about, man, we usually like to put two big stories together and then follow that with a bunch of quick hits, mostly because the two big stories are a lot to get into and to dig through and to get all the background on so that we aren't just telling a quick story that sounds like it could be true. We're actually trying to get some facts together and everything else. But and then the quick hits is because people get bored. That's why they have cell phones and they go from one thing to the next and they have 18 different conversations going at once. They don't want to pick up a phone call and talk to somebody for 30 minutes. They want to text somebody and they want to use cryptic little language like, how are you? Except, but anyway.
WY. That's why John will let me. That's why John will let me do the full breakdown. When Biden last week said, "I'm going to leave to the next person in charge, the greatest economy ever." Like, no, you're not. It's a dumpster fire. Well, anyway,
Joe Biden also said, I have 2 brain surgeries, each lasting 9 hours apiece, where they took the top of my head off. And the first time they couldn't even find my brain.
He did say that.
This is hyperbole. This is the truth. He said it.
Oh, and by the way, and that's not all. Joe Biden. Oh my goodness. Speaking of Joe Biden, okay, hold on. This is like 3 seconds. You ready for this?
We've run a campaign that's basically scandal free. It's hard to do in American politics these days.
He said, I'll translate. Scandal free. He ran a scandal free. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yes.
Do you remember the big campaign that the Obama administration went through towards the end where they talked about we had 0 scandals, no scandals in our, and as it turns out, they were spying on the seated president. They were sending literally pallets of cash, unmarked, unaccounted for, into Iran.
Yeah.
There's tons of them. So anyway,
scandal free. We've had no scandals. It's remarkable. What? I felt like you always coach me on my sarcastic humor, but I was going to start with some flat earth tirade just because I cannot believe the rhetoric that's coming out of this. We're almost done White House, but they speak and it's like, we've had a scandal free administration and the best economy in the history of the world. And we've run the most financially sound budgets, and like, there's nothing you're saying that's true, but you're saying it and now it gets recorded and people will replay it on the news and then it becomes the truth.
Yep. Yeah. And, you should believe it because it's them telling it.
It is them telling it. You want to see what else them are telling us right now? Come on, John. This is kind of funny. I got to share this. Oh, let me share it. Hold on.
It was there. It was there.
Oh, it was there. Okay. I can't tell. They're predicting 2028 newsflash. They've already got the results of the election, and Kamala Harris won with 365 electoral votes.
Perfect.
And, yeah. So,
well, if they can still control the machines at that point, they'll be able to do that. So listen, one of the things, and it looks like I need to restart my sharing here. One of the things that we do want to talk about is the ongoing saga of the UAVs or the drones. I'll save my opinion till the end of our discussion here. However, there's a few articles that have come out recently, and one of them is this: that the great big drone Psyop. Everyone knows that a Psyop is a psychological operation, things that they're using that will distract and or drive the news cycle and get people to look in a direction and then take action in a certain way. So Gateway Pundit has this on their page talking about the Psyop and its upcoming. This is leading into, obviously, I don't remember how many days left, but a handful of days before the inauguration, and they're coming out and saying, well, what is this? Is it a military operation? We talked about that last week. If it were a military operation, I think that there would be either it would be quieter, no one would know about it at all. They wouldn't continue to fly them. They would have made this go away quickly. Or they would have come out and said, yeah, we're doing these tests. And that's okay. They do tests. There was a time back in California where the first Thursday of every month, there was a 2.0 earthquake that happened at 7 a.m. every morning. Every Thursday, the first Thursday of every month at 7 a.m., there was a 2.0 earthquake. Well, some people started speculating that they were testing a new aircraft. And as soon as that speculation came out, the aircrafts went away and the earthquakes went away.
Huh. Interesting.
Who knows? It could have been or it couldn't have been. Anyway, Donald Trump says mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down.
Shoot them down. Biden said, and I quote, I don't have the authority to do that. That's what he said. I don't have the authority to shoot them down.
And you know what? If you go by what I think, he doesn't have the authority to shoot them down.
He doesn't. We don't know what they are, but here's what we know. We know that they are not from Iran. That's what we know, but we're not sure what they are, and we don't have the authority to shoot them down, and neither should you. By the way, there have been arrests, right? There have been people that have been arrested for flying their drones in the wrong place. I think there were 2 arrests today or yesterday.
Right.
And I don't know if those are, are those meant to make the news so that it will explain this whole thing away, and we'll just say they're hobbyist drones, or is it something else?
So, Marie talks about Wright-Patterson was closed just now because of drone activity. Now, we have to be very careful when we call them drones. There are military drones, and then there are hobbyist drones. So you can go down to Costco right now and buy an $800 drone. It can fly 400 plus feet. You can go across. Listen, there are some limitations. They built in some no-fly zones and temporary no-fly zones into some of the software on some of these, but it's not hard to hack around it. You can get around that. You can fly just about anywhere you want. So fouling the airspace of a base is not hard to do. I think I said on our show 2 shows ago, the first thing that I noticed was the navigation lights. They had the red and green navigation lights on the drone, and it was clearly in the picture. And they said that was the size of a bus. Well, it wasn't the size of a bus, and military UAVs do not have the navigation lights. And I had said that, and I was sticking by it. Well, today, DJI, just so you know, any drone that flies into a space that should not be there is an unauthorized drone. So I want to be very careful here. They can say whatever they want. I can tell you that I accidentally flew into a space that I should not have flown back when I was flying my drone, and I got an alert on my screen that said, "Hey, buddy, you're in a no-fly zone." Oops. I could have stayed there. It didn't make me get out. It just said you're in a no-fly zone, and rather than get a $20,000 fine, I of course brought it back out of that no-fly zone. But you can fly them into them. That would be an unauthorized. And any drone could take down an aircraft. If you should have it get sucked into the jet, that would definitely foul an airplane. But anyway, I want to go back. So DJI came out today. They're the largest manufacturer of consumer drones in the world, and they came out and they pointed out the fact that all of the photographs and video that they have seen to date of the UAVs flying over the United States have had these FAA navigation lights on them. They would not be on a military grade or otherwise. Listen, if you're Joe Blow the Ragman trying to do something bad in our country, you're not going to worry about breaking FAA rules by not putting your navigation lights on it. So I'm still standing by the fact that, or by my opinion, my take, that I think that there are drones flying all over the place. I saw a report today where people are taking their hobbyist drones and going out trying to find these drones. Real smart idea. And they're generally only seeing these at night, which is, again, interesting. I saw a report today, and I'll see if I can bring that up right now.
The ABC report?
No, I don't know. Did you see an ABC? I haven't seen an ABC report.
There was a reporter, I thought it was ABC. He was live and he's like, I came out here to investigate it, and I'm sure I was going to find a whole lot of nothing. And there it is. It's real. I see it. And, you know, John, to someone who's untrained like myself, if I see a drone in the sky, I may or may not be able to accurately judge its size, right? Because you think about even large birds, right? Think about large, like eagles or some of those large birds up close. They look huge, but they're 30 to 50 feet up, and all of a sudden, you know, it's hard to tell how big they are. So I don't know that we can accurately judge. Not to say that it's not real. I'm definitely not dismissing it. I'm just saying it. Yeah.
Well, the fact is they're causing a disruption, right? They are causing a disruption, whether or not it's military, whether or not they have nefarious, motives. Either way, it is causing a disruption. I just don't think that it's what they want us to. Now, it could be wrong. There was also today, it was on the Gateway Pundit as well, where they talked about the possibility that this is a sniffer drone out there looking for a lost nuclear weapon. Again, I think that if I just get the feeling that if it were military, that they would say, oh yeah, we're conducting testing. They would come up with another lie because people see what they see. They get it.
Which is why the whole thing, I think I said this, maybe I didn't say this on air, but if you don't tell people what's happening, if you know and you don't tell, we're left to make up our own ending of the story. And that's where you have all these other wild assumptions about what's happening.
Yep. Let me bring this up.
If it is a government agency, then just say it.
Yeah, let me see if I can't.
We'll just believe you. Because we're good at just believing what we hear anymore. We become such skeptics. We don't believe anything. I don't know about you, John. I shouldn't drag you into it. I don't believe anything I hear the first time around anymore. It just, even videos and pictures, I'm like, I need to see. There was a video, I don't know if you saw this one, where it said people are shooting, they're firing at the drones, and they had a video and somebody had altered it where it showed, people allegedly firing bullets at the drone. And if you just saw that and people were reacting to it, oh my God, this is terrible, or this is great, right? All these different reactions. But you look at it, you're like, your first question should be, is that real or is that enhanced? It was enhanced.
All right. How do I sound now? It sounded like we were getting some weird feedback a second ago. Does that sound all right?
You sound just fine. You're muted. The video is muted though.
Yeah. Well, it's not playing yet. So there you go. So here's this is like a 20-second video or something like that. Yeah. 45 seconds. I don't know that the sound is really that helpful either, but this is from the Joe Rogan website. Somebody had posted this one over by him.
The dog barking is helpful.
Basically what I've seen regarding the drones is more so just when you're driving around at night and you see the blinking lights up in the sky. And when I was driving home from a friend's house, I saw one that looked about the size of a car that was just hovering over Flanders Valley golf course. It was a circular object that had lights all around it, almost like the classic UFO that you would see online.
So I've seen them over my house just about every single night for the past 2.5 weeks. At first, they were more sporadic. I would see 1 to 2, sometimes 3 of them. And now we're seeing anywhere between 6 to 8 in a single sighting.
There you go. So, I don't know, Dave.
Amazing. Jerry, you got to see this. Saying it. Trust me.
Stop.
I thought they were going to see the drones too. I was waiting for the astronauts to say, see those? You see them? I think that's New Jersey. That's a statue. Yeah. That's New Jersey. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
I don't know. I'm
We're gonna
call
find
me
out.
skeptical. I could be wrong. But I just don't. There's so much about this story when I'm
You know what,
using
John,
a
you know what else?
technical analysis. I tend to believe the most. I go by Occam's razor. Okay, Occam's razor is it's a psyop. These people are, and then what's happening is I'll give you an example. I go wine tasting. I know a little bit about wine. I enjoy wine. One of the things that you will never taste in a real wine, unflavored wine, you'll never get the taste of strawberry. You could say, oh, there's hints of blackberry and currant and leather. You'll never get the taste of strawberry in a grape wine. So what I'll do sometimes when I have someone sitting next to me and it's a little bit pretentious, and maybe this person next to me is like talking about, oh yes, you have to swirl it in a semicircular clockwise rotation to get the best, because when the earth is rotating, if you're rotating into the same direction of the earth, you won't get the same aromatic effect. So when someone's doing goofball stuff like that, I'll just lean over to Mrs. John and I'll say, hints of strawberry, isn't it? Do you get that? Do you get that? Next thing you know, Joe Blow's next to me going, oh, there's some strawberry and black currants too. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
And some leather. I'm just, John, I'm not a wine connoisseur. Definitely, I don't have the same level of expertise anywhere close to you. But if I tasted wine and it tasted like leather, I'm pretty sure I don't care what that bottle of wine costs. I'm moving on to the next beverage.
Well, the question begs itself, David. What are you doing tasting leather to know what leather tastes like?
Look, I was 3 once.
Anyway, so there is a phenomenon where the power of suggestion, and you can get people in a group that group think, and oh my gosh, there's drones everywhere. And I don't know, when I looked at those videos, they looked like jets flying into LaGuardia. I don't know.
There were other people who said they look like fixed wing aircraft also. Yeah, hard to say. I'm
just saying I'm not buying the whole story right now, and it does take people. I met with a few of our friends tonight, friends of the show, and their general consensus too was, yeah, it is a great distraction from all of these pedophiles that they have let off, that they've given the pardons to and what have you, and all the things that they're doing to sabotage the incoming president. So I don't know.
1,500 people pardoned, and some of them are pretty bad people. They've done some really gnarly bad things.
But he's breaking records again, Dave. He's breaking records again.
I'm saying the earth is flat. I know this to be true because Biden said so. We're gonna find out soon about the drones. If not, it is a distraction. What's it a distraction from? Well, it could also be a distraction from Nancy Pelosi broke her hip allegedly in Luxembourg. And I'm thinking, if you're going to do something like that, do it in a country where they don't have extradition. At least then you can wait things out over there and see how things turn if Biden forgets to pardon you. But nope, that's one of the distractions.
While I'm queuing up the next video, did you see where Bill Clinton said, I hope that Joe Biden doesn't pardon Hillary? Did you see that?
No, he did not say that. Did he really?
He did. So let's be truthful.
Freedom.
No, I think that let's all have someone shoot one down and see what happens.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay. Disclaimer. Okay. Disclaimer.
Okay.
I will tell you, as much as we want to do that,
we don't condone violence either, by the way.
No. So because drones are now federally protected and you have to have a FAA license to fly one, if you shoot one down, that could be a federal offense. Just saying. I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV. Before you break out the shotgun with the drone load, I would be very careful.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right.
As much as it sounds like.
Pooped our party, but I understand. Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to the Hillary Clinton thing. It makes sense for him to say that, because here's the deal. If you are going on the, I don't know, she never did anything wrong. Now, if you pardon her, then obviously she must have done something wrong, right? So
I agree. Every single.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say when he pardoned his son, clearly there's a reason why he went all the way back to, what was it, 2014? There's a reason why you did that, right? Because there's activity. If you pardon the next person he pardons outside of these 1,500 that, pay no attention. If you pardon some of these very public figures like Fauci, like Pelosi, like Clinton, you pick a Clinton, pick an Obama, pick a
Clinton,
pick a Podesta,
Biden,
pick another Biden. There's a gaggle of people, right? Any of these other folks, Liz Cheney, you pardon any of these people and you are sending a very strong message. There's clearly a reason why that they need the protection of a pardon. And so I'm willing to bet that he doesn't, because that is a very clear message. Now,
well, to Roger's point, what's behind that curtain, right? If you're pardoning him, what's behind the curtain that you don't want to see? Hey, before we move off of drones, I just want to bring up the White House's lame explanation of what they came up with.
Is it going to be Jean-Pierre? Because she's always
Nope.
entertaining.
It's not. It's actually Kirby, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, equally
Comments on the
intelligent.
reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage. While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well.
So that's it. Pass another law. We need to pass another law because we need to pass more laws. That's why.
We need to restrict your rights. Also, the moon is made of cheese. We have it on good authority that the dark side of the moon is, I don't know.
There's a Soviet base on the dark side of the moon.
There's a Soviet base on the dark side of the moon, and that's made of some other kind of cheese. Anyways, we're going to find out, right? We'll find out. A couple comments on the pardon stuff. Just, I don't know if you saw this. The question.
I just want to say before we move on, though, that was John Kirby, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that he is a retired Navy admiral. Anyway, go ahead.
He's in the cabal. That's all I'm saying. And usually you're in prison to be pardoned, and then isn't at the point you have to have done something wrong? It's being wiped clean. Shouldn't something have to have been proven first? And that's why Hunter's pardon was so alarming, because it's so just in case something happened during this time that we haven't talked about yet, we want to pardon that too. And I think that is the point, right? It's, clearly nobody's made the outright legal accusation yet. No one's gone to court yet. There's no evidence it's been tried yet. Yet you want to go ahead and potentially pardon somebody. And that's why I think he won't do it. We'll see what happens. We still have some time.
All right.
peaceful transfer of power. John, have you seen this? I have no idea what he said. I'm sure it's something like, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
I think he said that's real big.
He said, "That is enormous. Run." So that little doozy there. Let me see. I think I have another screen teed up here so I can show you. That is a bomb that was blasted. So Israel drops, they've dubbed it earthquake bomb, but that's not what it is. Colossal explosion so big it registered an earthquake hits Syrian coast as Israel is targeting weapons depots. Now, was it the bomb or was it the weapons depot? Either way, that was an enormous explosion.
Do you remember when Trump dropped the Moab, mother of all bombs?
Yes.
And
yes.
that was one of those, we're going to wake you guys up. You really want to play games with us? Check this out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It kind of looks like the
mother.
Moab.
Yeah. We had the father of all bombs comes in afterward. If you thought the mother was bad, wait till you see what's next.
Wait till your father gets home.
Wait till your father gets home.
All right. So I'm gonna transition here. By the way, let me just transition here. So we're going to talk about, we have to be careful. For those of you at home, please bear with us. One of the channels that we broadcast on doesn't like us to talk about reality. And so as you can read here, this is what we're talking about now. I apologize for being cryptic, but they make us. So this part right here is what we're going to talk about. We'll talk it as C19. But there's a company that manufactures vaccines that they're being in deep trouble because they have been hiding the number of people that died from the I hate being so cryptic. This is stupid. We should probably not even be on the other channel. Anyway, so the fact is that I can't even say it.
It's so dumb, right?
It is.
Today, if you use the wrong word, they shut down your platform. Some people call that cancel culture.
Or censorship.
Censorship, yeah.
Anyway, so there was they had trials, and they know that there were people that died during those trials, and now they're in trouble because they were hiding them, and it's clear that they were hiding them, and they lied about them, which is really troubling. They wanted a 75-year moratorium on when they would have to release this information, and government said absolutely not. I shouldn't say the government. The
federal judge said no.
The federal judge said no. You can't do that.
Right.
And then, as you can read here, the death reported 41 days after the participant received his second dose. And they're talking about all the other people that died during this process too. And there were a handful. I want to say, I thought I read 17, but that would be too coincidental. But a number of people, and they hid those numbers, and that's the part that I think is starting to come out, and I think more and more of that's going to come out. Yeah,
it is coming out more and more now that more and more people are comfortable talking about it, and they feel less threatened about being canceled, being fired, being excommunicated, losing their license to act professionally, whatever profession they're in, like doctors, for example, who were threatened. You will lose your medical license if you keep talking about this. Well, there's less and less of that, and people are feeling more and more comfortable coming forward. And as that happens, we'll hear the truth. The unfortunate thing is there's going to be an awful lot of people who are just going to be devastated by the truth. It's going to be very difficult. Because they want to believe. Everyone wants to trust who doesn't want to trust your doctor, trust your government? It told you, what's safe and what's not safe and what to do. But yep, it's coming.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's lots of things coming out about that, and I think you're going to continue to see more. There's more people that you're going to see that, they should all go to jail. Everyone who lied should go to jail. We did have a discussion earlier today And I have to tell you, Mrs. John came up with a banger of an idea that we're going to move forward with, Dave. You and I need to do this. We are going to create Just Our Take Bingo. And yeah, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put a number of we're going to randomly send out cards for those people who ask. They'll be in the form of digital cards. David, you and I are going to have to figure out how to do this. But those random cards are going to have people's names on them in different blocks. And when one of them gets arrested, you get to mark that block off.
I love it. This is going to be great.
It'll be fun to see who gets Just Our Take Bingo and gets to call it first. But as people are being arrested or sent away, and I hope that we actually hear who gets arrested and sent away. Those are things that we, the people, need to hear about because, I think most of us are so frustrated that that none of the laws have been held to, and that it's like every time I hear, I'm talking to friends or family, and I truly believe that justice is coming, and everyone is very skeptical. They think you're off your rocker, John, and I get it. I totally understand. It's because that's what's been happening up until this point. But does anything feel like business as usual right now?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not business as usual. Look, I'm one of those people. I don't say you're off your rocker. I go, I hope you're right. I hope that, because that's what we need justice. This is not revenge. I know that, the news tries to paint some of these activities as revenge. It's not revenge. People that did really bad and evil things that have affected many of us, all of us in some way, and some people in much worse ways. And they deserve to be helped, brought to justice. And this is where, when some people, can't we just let bygones be bygones? Can't we just move along? God, that was so long ago. We just need to unify, hold hands, and move forward. Nope. When some of these people have done things that are so wrong, you let them off the hook. The message is clear that there is a different level of justice for people who happen to be part of the cabal. Not okay. So yes, I would like to see him brought to justice.
And 100% not okay, right?
100% not okay. Yes, bring them forward, try them. And by the way, if they're found guilty, then let their punishment be carried out very publicly. We need a message.
Speaking of which, here's a good transition. How about this? Did you guys see that there was a deposition scheduled for I guess Christmas Eve in the case where Donald Trump is claiming defamation against George Stephanopoulos and ABC News. So it was scheduled for, right. So guess what happened? ABC stepped in and said, okay, you got me. We're not going to.
We've talked a lot in recent years about people using the courts trying to seek justice. Remember the Sandy Hook case against Alex Jones? Well, those defamation kinds of cases can also be filed by someone like the president-elect. So Trump filed a defamation suit. It was working its way through the courts. ABC was unable to get it thrown out initially. And actually, in the next few days, Trump was set to be deposed in the case. But ABC is avoiding going any further by settling. They're paying out $15 million plus $1 million in attorney's fees. They say this is going to go to a nonprofit, basically to Trump's future library. That's the idea. But maybe most importantly, Jessica, ABC is also apologizing, issuing a statement of regret.
Okay, so
there's so much going on here.
Little Humpty Dumpty tried to just gloss over the fact that not only did ABC say, all right, never mind, we're not going there. George Stephanopoulos, I'm sure he was just like, okay, just get me out of this thing.
Right.
And Humpty Dumpty says, oh, and it's going to go to a nonprofit. No, it's going to fund the Trump library, the Trump Presidential Library. How good is that?
Oh, John, it's so good. I just imagine one day you're there, families are touring, and as you come in, there's a plaque, because all of these places, there's a plaque, right? What are you entering? What is this whole thing? And it's going to say
donation from.
Not funded, not by taxpayers' money, but funded by people who lied through their teeth. And here are their names, one after the other. Oh, so great.
So also, I was cracking up at that, but I also have there's another one.
Before you flip away,
I'm not flipping away. This is furthering. So go ahead.
Well, I just want to call out that CNN. was on
Right.
CNN. Come on, these guys never will broadcast things that potentially disparage or damage each other. I'm shocked they even brought that one forward.
So this is a freak out from Mark Elias. I don't know if you guys know who Mark Elias is, but Mark Elias is one of those guys. He's the dirtiest of dirty Democrat lawyers. And he came out and said, knee bent, ring kissed, another legacy news outlet chooses obedience. A reminder, Democracy Docket is fiercely independent and unapologetically pro-democracy. Yeah. It will not back down. It will not obey. Sign up to support. So he's trying to get money off of this.
How do I raise some money from somebody else's demise? You remember back a few weeks when MSNBC is reported to be for sale, and Rachel Maddow's taking a $5 million a year haircut. By the way, she was paid $30 million a year, so now it's only 25. And members of my extended family went nuts. Oh, there goes the end of sorry, I missed a step. And also, people were suggesting Elon Musk go and buy MSNBC and rebrand it. We talked about that here, I think. Anyways, they were just going nuts. Oh, there's the end to the independent press, and it's gonna melt away. Like, end of the independent press. They are literally the mainstream media. They are not the independent press. And by the way, they're melting away because no one's paying any attention to them anymore.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of people now coming out and they're feeling free because Trump did win, and they're looking at the agenda coming forward and or going forward, and now they're starting to feel more comfortable talking about why they endorsed or who they endorsed. Yeah. And this is a billionaire by the name of Mark Anderson talking about why he decided. He's an investment dude. I'm sure that's on his business card. Investment dude.
It probably says that. That's what I'm going to do next. Investment dude.
But he's an investment guy, billionaire, and he met with the Biden team, and here's what he had to say.
We had meetings in DC in May where we talked to them about this, and the meetings were absolutely horrifying. And we came out basically deciding we had to endorse Trump.
What did you hear in those meetings?
AI is a technology basically that the government is going to completely control. This is not going to be a startup thing. They actually said flat out to us, don't do AI startups. Like don't fund AI startups. It's not something that we're going to allow to happen. They're not going to be allowed to exist. There's no point. They basically said AI is going to be a game of 2 or 3 big companies working closely with the government, and we're going to basically wrap them in a, I'm paraphrasing, but we're going to basically wrap them in a government cocoon. We're going to protect them from competition. We're going to control them, and we're going to dictate what they do. And then I said, I don't understand how you're going to lock this down so much, because like the math for, AI is like out there and it's being taught everywhere. And, they literally said, during the Cold War, we classified entire areas of physics and took them out of the research community, and like entire branches of physics basically went dark and didn't proceed. And that if we decide we need to, we're going to do the same thing to the math underneath AI.
Wow.
And I said, I've just learned 2 very important things.
Wow.
Because I wasn't aware of the former, and I wasn't aware that you were, even conceiving of doing it to the latter.
Wow.
Shocked?
Yeah, absolutely. We believe in free market economy. We believe in allow business to develop, to innovate, to bring things forward. And then we'll snatch that patent right from their hands and own it and restrict the market.
Let me just kind of bring this back to, human layman terms. AI, it's a growing technology. A lot of people think that this is where the future of computing is. And there's a lot of people that are afraid of where AI is going, artificial intelligence. They're afraid of where it's going. And the government is saying, we are going to control it. And we're only going to allow 2 or 3 companies to develop it, to grow it, and to be the leaders in AI. Now, who does that sound like? Sounds like Facebook? Sounds like YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like some of these big social media companies. There's others that would want to play in that game and have tried over the years, but they failed. And by the way, there's also when he just said that under government control, I know that you guys can read between the lines that he means a 3-letter agency would be controlling it.
Which is incredible. and I do think that there will be some people who will do some nefarious things with AI. We've already seen some of it already, so I'm sure we'll see a lot more. But my goodness, the things that AI can do to help advance us. I think about the medical field first, but to take that away and to put it in the hands of just a few who have ultimate control over it. First of all, I don't think it's possible. That's not like, it's not a finite thing that exists. It is an idea. It's a intellectual property, and it can be recreated. It doesn't, unless you take out or control every single person who could possibly conceive of how to code a machine to practice AI. It's impossible. That's not something you can control. You could try, but you cannot. So
David,
good luck.
David. You severely underestimate the capabilities of our three-letter agencies. I know that you don't want to, but the fact is,
not gonna happen.
no, it would. If they allowed it to, it would happen. And they just said that they allowed that they blocked off entire areas of physics during the Cold War. I mean, think about that. Physics, again, that's people using their brains to come up with, hey, I wonder why this happens this way. Let's do some testing. If they blocked off entire areas of physics during the Cold War, they're far more sophisticated now, and using their criminal AI, they could find out who's trying to do some criminal AI. I'm just saying, I'm glad that it's not them in charge anymore. Because
I'm glad it's not them in charge anymore either. Also, too.
So here's another one, and talking about people being in charge that shouldn't be. A mayor in Canada. The government takes money from bank account of mayor who refused to celebrate Pride Month. So this mayor, Canadian mayor, is facing consequences for refusing to bow to the Pride altar. The Toronto Sun reported Saturday that Emo Township Mayor Harold McQuaker was fined $5,000 by the Human Rights Tribunal. That sounds nefarious. Of Ontario for comments made in 2020 for opposing a request for the town council to declare June Pride Month. His offending comment, according to Winnipeg, was no flag being flown for the other side of the coin. There's no flags being flown for the straight people. McQuaker also he was ordered to attend a Human Rights 101 course, and he refused. It's a re-education camp, basically. He refused to go to that. He also said he refused to comply with either one, either the pay or the going to the camp. He says that's extortion. So what happened? They took it from his bank. They took $5,000 from his bank account. And you see, Canada proud. We're proud that they took the money. How about that?
They just took it from them. Take it. We're just going to take this from your money. By the way, that's one of the reasons why people who are aware say we do not want a central bank digital currency. We don't want it, because those are the kinds of things that actually can happen. You remember during the peaceful trucker protests, that is exactly what happened then too. Yeah. They literally took these people's money away from them. It's incredible. I can't even imagine a government saying, you know what, John, you have offended me, and because of that, I'm going to take from your account your personal funds.
Did I even show the debanking video? I don't think I did. I think I talked about it. I don't think I ever showed that video. Let me see if I still have that one handy. It's spooky as heck. Here it is. Yeah, I'll bring this one up. This one's a little bit scary. Here you go.
Under current banking regulations, after all the reforms of the last 20 years, there's now a category called a politically exposed person, PEP. And if you are a PEP, you are required by financial regulators to kick them off of to kick them out of your bank. You're not allowed to have them.
What if you're politically on the left?
Well, that's fine.
No,
because they're not politically exposed.
So no one on the left gets debanked?
I have not heard of a single instance of anybody on the left getting debanked.
Could you tell me what the person that you know did, what they said that got them debanked?
Oh, well, I mean, David Horowitz is a right wing. He's pro-Trump. I mean, he said all kinds of things. He's been very anti-Islamic terrorism. He's been very worried about migration, all these things.
And they debanked debanked him for that.
Yeah, they debanked it. So you get kicked out of your bank account. You get kicked out of you can't do credit card transactions. But, by the way, you can't.
How is that legal?
Well, exactly. So this is the thing, and then you go in this thing of like, well, this is where the government and the companies get intertwined. Back to your fascism point, which is there's a constitutional amendment that says the government can't restrict your speech, but there's no constitutional amendment that says the government can't debank you, right? And so if they can't do the one thing, they do the other thing, and then they don't have to debank you. They just have to put pressure on the private company banks to do it, and then the private company banks do it because they're expected to. But the government gets to say we didn't do it. It was the private company that did it, and of course J.P. Morgan can decide who they want to have as customers, of course, right? Because they're a private company, and so it's this sleight of hand that happens. So it's basically a privatized sanctions regime that lets bureaucrats do to American citizens the same thing that we do to Iran.
Wow. I don't remember seeing that before. That's incredible.
And by the way, that's not in Canada. That's here.
Yep. I can just see that.
It happens. This is exactly what you just said about the Canadian truckers. This is what happened to them. They got debanked. And debanking sounds like it's not that bad. You can still, no, you can't. They basically just say you no longer have a bank here. And in many cases, they freeze your account. You don't have access to your account until they can clear up whether or not the government wants to release your funds to you. You can't use a credit card because, by the way, the credit card is through the bank. You can't get your cash. You can't go to the grocery store. How are you going to pay for it? I mean, debanking is basically, yeah, sorry, you're dead.
Yep. So sorry. Wow. That's pretty incredible. Well, that's incredible. I won't say it can't happen. Look, I won't say it can't happen. We've seen a lot of videos coming out of the UK where people thinking about praying for a person gets them arrested, or somebody who said, I like that tweet on X, or I liked your comment on Facebook. And the next thing you know, they're getting knocks at the door at 4 a.m. because they're getting arrested for having unacceptable thoughts. So yeah, I guess it is possible.
No, it's not just possible. It's happening. And I will tell you that I personally know of people that were trying to buy pew pew, and they were doing it with their, you can't say that word on YouTube, David. You
pew
can't.
pew.
Yeah,
Oh,
so they were trying to buy pew pew, and
learning.
Their bank card was denied. They would not allow. So he's like, why? I've got plenty of money. Or their credit card was, I got plenty of access. Nope. We don't allow that to be purchased via our card.
Yeah. Private company.
Yeah, exactly. Private company, and the private company can't tell you what to say, or that you can or can't say something, but they sure can tell you that they're not going to let you buy something that you're legally allowed to have.
Right. Unless it's about baking a cake. Hey, I don't know if you have time for this, but we should talk about J6ers, the J6ers, because there's been some news recently, John. So
let me toss this one up there, and then we'll do J6.
Okay.
Just a quick one. This is a quick one. Kash
Let's do
Patel, and he's talking about the Epstein list, which we can't wait. We can't wait. And I'm hoping that this helps us fill out our bingo card. Here's Kash
We're going to
Patel.
figure this one out, and it's going to be great.
Yeah. Oh, come on, John. Scott,
Come on,
hurry up.
Kash. Yeah, come on,
I'm
Scott.
not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get to get that?
For instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's.
That's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Oh, I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
you say that the FBI has Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. Right. You can't get the list. You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
I love that guy. He is so right on. And that's anyone who's aware of the Epstein story saga and that there's a list, and that list are people that are not just, they're not just the creepy neighbor that you have that you always thought was, you know, maybe something's going on in the garage. No, these are people that are the elites. They're in the cabal. And I think it's a great question. How is it that Congress, how is it that they're like, yep, we need to keep this list secret? Why? Because we can't handle the truth?
No, because they're on it. They're on it.
They're on it. Yes. Some of them probably are. Otherwise, you'd be like, yes, you'd be a Matt Gatesing this thing. Yes, let's get the names out there, expose these evil pedophiles. He used a word. I don't know if it's a real word. I was going to try to look it up, but I didn't find it. Pederast. I'd never heard that word before, but
I had neither, but I trust him. Hey, listen, I think that, you know, when we watch Cash, and he's obviously passionate about this, you have to remember, he said, who has the list? He says it's under direct control of the director of the FBI, who in about 40 days is going to be
resigning. It's going to be him.
It's going to be him. So the other thing to think about is when they put Kash Patel in charge, I think it was Assistant Director DNI, Director of National Intelligence. When they did that, the FBI started investigating him. And they were tapping his phones, and they were digging into his emails. Do you think he's got an axe to grind? Stand by for heavy rolls.
I love it. Good. Make some cuts. Let's see how many of the people quit because they don't feel, what would they say? They're going to quit because they don't feel like they're going to have the right DEI experience, or he's not going to really appreciate them. And no, they're leaving because they know they were part of the cabal. They did the cabal's work.
That's right. So let's jump into your J6, Dave. I didn't know that was a sidetrack, but it was important that we talked about it.
All right, I just want to show this funny up here. Trump colluded with Russia. Nope, that was me. Trump kept kids in cages. No, that was me. Trump obstructed an active investigation. Oh, that was us. Trump had quid pro quo with Ukraine. That was creepy Biden me. Anyways, I thought it was funny.
He said, Joseph, that was me.
That was me. All right, J6. John, I am sure that you probably are a little bit closer to the details, but you know, just a couple of days ago, it was finally announced. We had to wait till the election was over first, and now we can talk about the 20. There were at least 26 informants in that crowd. Or before, when first they denied it, then they said we're not at liberty to talk about it, and now we had some informants there. Yeah, you did. No kidding. And now, of course, there's more and more video evidence, not to mention 40,000 hours or 34,000 hours that are at whitehouse.gov right now. But, you know, better late than never, but still, that's, it's alarming. Your take.
Well, here's You know, I saw somebody and it was a congressional hearing, and they were talking about, oh, so there's 26 FBI informants. Can you tell us, were they employees of the FBI or were they off books informants? Yeah, I
Right.
can't get into that. So they very well could be FBI, badge carrying FBI members. And or they could be, they said we have 26 and I think that Ray Epps was probably one of them. Confidential informants in there. But that doesn't say that they didn't have FBI director or FBI members as well as those 26. There's a lot of people that point out, and I'm just going to show you this. I'm not going to be able to talk a lot about it because, again, I don't want us to be deplatformed. But on the Rumble channels, there is a channel, and that channel is called Wooz News, WOOZ NEWS, and there is a plethora. There is a great repository of videos and information about what really happened on that fateful day in January. Here's one. It's listed over here. Everything wrong with the Capitol riots in 889 angles. And there's 2 copies of that. There's 2 versions of that. And what he's talking about is he was able to get a whole bunch of video, both from FOIA requests from the Capitol itself and from people on the ground with their cell phones. And some of the details that they got, it's stunning. There are pictures where he's pointing out crisis actors. He's pointing out people that bent down, put one of those fake blood capsules, the movie blood capsules, in their mouth, pop the capsule, and then he spits the capsule out into a cup, and they show him doing it. There is so much wrong with it, but if you get a chance, go over to Wooz News, check out some of their videos. We may in the future, I'm going to get a hold of the guy and find out if he'd let us put some clips from his page on our page in one of our upcoming episodes. But the guy has done just incredible research. He's done an incredible job of collating all of this information. But go there, take a look at some of the videos. I think you will be shocked and sickened.
Yeah, both. And if Epps was,
Great question, Ree. You're absolutely right. 100% on the money there.
I'm just saying, that guy, come on, we need to barge the Capitol.
So people that don't know, Ray Epps is the gentleman, I say that loosely, on the left.
Gentleman. Yeah.
And he was seen the night before, and he was trying to rally people up, saying, we're going to go and we're going to storm the Capitol and we're going to make, that's our house. We're going to, and people immediately started booing him and saying, no, and then they started chanting, Fed, Fed, Fed.
Right.
So he was clearly a plant and
no
not
question.
But you're right. You're right, Marie. He needs to be in jail. And another thing I saw, go ahead.
I just want to show this because it's easy for people who weren't paying attention to not realize that this really happened. But there he is.
Oh yeah.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed. Tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested. Well, let's not say it. We need to go. I'll say it. All right. We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Sorry for the language, John. Okay, I'll stop it there. But it really did happen. It's real.
It's really did. As if you had that ready for me. That's a good job. Thank you.
I do have that one ready. But he really did do like everything that was said about him. He did. We need to go into the Capitol. We need to, and then of course, peacefully. Okay, come on. And then you hear them calling him out, Fed. Yet he's the guy, by the way, an instigated. There's 26 of them at least, if not more. And look, there'll be more on the J6ers. We'll have to show some videos where you have people dressed in uniforms that could make them look like police or military supporting the Capitol, shooting paintballs or paint pellets into the crowd and sending shot grenades into the crowd, tear gas into the crowd. And then when the crowd finally starts to get kind of fired up, starting fighting back, then you hear them acknowledge it and say, that's finally getting them fired up. But they make some comment. I don't remember the exact words, but they're acknowledging now they're getting fired up. You pieces of dung. Yes, I hope that one of the first things that Trump does, I know he's got a lot of stuff to do day one, and there's only 24 hours in the first day, so something's going to be the highest priority. But I really hope that part of it is that he releases all of these people from prison for their crimes of something. I don't even know what it is, but no one's been charged with insurrection, so it can't be insurrection.
There was a radio host who had been arrested for entering the Capitol. And this guy was just a radio host. He didn't do any damage in there. He went into the Capitol, walked around, was with a lot of the other people that were walking around. He got arrested and he was charged and he did his sentence. And I think his sentence was 1.5 years. And then he got out, and just last week they rearrested him. And the funny thing is, not funny, haha, but the funny thing is that Supreme Court has already said that what you guys are charging them with cannot be proven, and that never happened. So you need to let them out or recharge them with something else. Well, not only did he already serve his time, but now he gets out and they say that he has violated his probation. And so they arrested him. He goes before the court, and the court immediately threw it out, said, don't ever do this again, to the people that arrested him. The DOJ right now is out of control, and they're grasping at straws, and they're trying to get the last licks in before the incoming.
Yeah. Peaceful transfer of power. Peaceful transfer of power. Of course it's going to be peaceful.
Yeah. Speaking of not peaceful, have you seen what's happening over in Poland right now?
A little bit. Yeah. Poland.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. They have the Muslim migrants going in there, and they're it's pretty out of control. Quite honestly, it's not good.
You mean it's not like the UK, where if they say something like, I don't know if that's a good thing, they get arrested and go to jail? You mean in Poland there's a different response by the community?
Completely different. These are people that are trying to sneak into the country. Okay, so people trying to sneak into the country, and I'll show you the video. I'm hoping that it's not as graphic as it could be.
Oh.
Nope.
بولندي نضربه اركض. مين اللي حنا بالسياج؟ احنا بالسياج. من هذا اللي تعلق؟
So what's going on is they're trying to sneak into Poland, and Polish forces are repelling them with live fire. There's other places where they are trying to protest and there's large groups of them trying to get over the wall into Poland, and they bring out these water cannons, and they're not messing around. It's not like you're going to get sprayed with a hose in your front yard. These water cannons will actually take you off your feet and knock you back 20 feet. And they're just pummeling these people with that. They don't mess around. You know what? You want to come into our country legally. They're not allowing it the old fashioned way, if you will. Not anymore.
I might have that video too. If you're in
if you got it, do it. No, go for it.
Let me see. I was watching this earlier.
There you go. Yeah, look at that.
They're just
blue.
Yeah, that's not a little bit of water. They're just saying no.
Yeah.
And you know what's horrible, and this is where I probably get in trouble for having such a bleeding heart, but amongst all of the people that that are there for themselves or for some other mission, there are other people that are innocent and they just want a better way of life. And it's because of these people up front that I'm on a mission. I'm going to destroy somebody, some people. I'm going to change your way of life. It's because of them that all these other people that literally just want to live their lives and enjoy their families and do their thing, weave their baskets or be, whatever they want to do in their life, they will not be able to. It's because these people up front they're on a mission, and their mission is not a good one.
Well, I think you have to get a little bit deeper into that and understand that there is a caliphate. There's an order from a religious order that says you will go in and you will repopulate and you will take over that country. And Poland has said we're not going to allow it. And if you want to get into Poland, there are legal ways to migrate to Poland. So I do not accept the bleeding heart version of the argument in Poland or anywhere else really, where we know that there is a caliphate to go take over. And by the way, they do right, Marie, do it the right way, but they do this whole, we just want a better way of life because they know that we're suckers for it and that we're going to bow and say, come on in, it's okay. And then before we know it, we're on an airplane with someone who they have the legal right to pray. And so nobody can take off. The plane has to fly 5 minutes late because someone's going to pray to their God in the way that they want to pray to their God. And the rules for everybody else be damned.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry. I don't have my banner that says John's rant.
John's rant. John's rant.
Can we get into some climate change thing, or can we talk a little bit about Syria? I feel like we've kind of glossed over Syria for the day. I don't have any clips or anything else. I do have an opinion. Go figure.
Well, here, let me just sneak this one in first about climate change.
Yeah.
I won't show all the pictures. We'll just talk about it. A new study was released. It's a study. I don't know what you call them. They're not studies. I think it was from Forbes? Maybe it was Newsweek. Anyways, Forbes and Newsweek. It's no longer news anymore. It's no longer journalism. Anyways, the world's going to be underwater, or at least many of these coastlines, by 2050. If we don't change everything today, then you're going to find, and they were showing the first time I saw this article happened to be up here in the Pacific Northwest, and how much of Seattle was going to be underwater by 2050, which is just 25 years away if we don't do anything. And all of Florida is going to be underwater, and Miami.
Martha's Vineyard. Will Martha's Vineyard be underwater? Probably
not.
Because the Obamas bought some waterfront there, and they're right on the water. So is that going to be spared?
It's going to be that will be, and also wherever Whoopi's not Whoopi.
John Kerry.
I was thinking on
Al
Maui.
Gore, wherever Al Gore.
The water will rise over here, but not over here. Anyway, so I was just like, well, let me just read more about this. True story. That's true. Where I live, we're actually a little further in and 500 feet up. Maybe we might could miss the encroaching waters. Anyways, so I wanted to read into this, just to see how far and wide did the story go. And there is this full court press again around green energy. We got to cram it all in the next couple of weeks. And so this story is global, and they've got pictures of all the cities around the world. Amsterdam's going to be underwater, and then this city in Africa underwater, and all these different pictures. The UK, all of these areas underwater, and I'm looking at this, and I'm just in shock at how fast it goes from some journalism. It's not really journalism. I don't know what you call it, to this fear mongering. And along with it comes, we need to reform now. We need money, we need resources, and we need government around the world to take action today. And of course,
one of these days, we're going to have to put together a montage with the dates on it of all of these people saying, if we don't do something in 10 years, the earth is going to be, and if you go back all the way back to the 70s, by the way, in the 70s, if we don't do something, we're going to be in a second ice age. They were talking about grinding up coal and spreading it on the polar ice caps so that would absorb more heat. And now it's exactly the opposite. It's global warming. And then when it started cooling back down, it's climate change. But I want to see, if we don't act now, I want to do, act now would be the title of the video, and we just show all the different predictions where Al Gore, John Kerry, and all these other people that have investments in climate industry come out and say, if you don't act now in 10 minutes, you're Al Gore's the best at it, though. The guy is just he's like a carnival barker.
He is. And the thing is, when you're that extremist, and by the way, there's always a handout for money, right? And Trudeau's being criticized right now in Canada because people are struggling, and that's because they have all these carbon taxes, and I can't say that I have expertise here other than every time I hear about people struggling because of carbon tax, and now they have a tax-free period, and we need to print more money to help the people so they can have a Merry Christmas. Well, maybe. So all this extremism, I'm going to call it that, around climate takes away from how we maybe should be really responding to innovation around technological innovation that allows us to actually have a lighter footprint on the planet. Because I think most people would agree, cleaner air, great. That's good for us. We appreciate that. Vehicles and all of that have efficient power and go a long way and tow the big things we want to tow, great. And if those turn out to be something other than fossil fuels at some point, great. And we'll probably be here. But to grift like this and steal money from us today and our future to fund companies that ultimately are going to bring nothing to market. Meanwhile, they all got paid. They all got insanely wealthy. It's nothing more than just grifting.
Look, you look at John Kerry's house.
Roger's right.
John Kerry he's married to the heir of the Heinz family. Heinz family billions, and so they've shown pictures of his house. They've showed pictures of Al Gore's house. He's got like a 26,000 square foot house, all lit up. And he even did that on the whatever, they had some special night where you're supposed to turn off as many lights as you could. Well, he had his whole place lit up like a Christmas tree. They don't believe it. They laugh at you. They all fly into Davos with their private jets. And again, when you look at the climate disaster that solar panels, batteries, lithium batteries, and these wind farms are creating, you just can't, with a straight face, say that's the way that we fix this world.
Right. But I will say that I am in favor of finding technologies that do take advantage of, like solar, for example, solar panels. Great.
Nope.
I think that's fantastic.
There's more and more evidence coming out that, one, the way that they build the solar panels is detrimental to the earth. But then when you have these massive solar farms, they create a heat sink. All that heat is gathered, collected, and stored in that area. It's changing. That is the definition of changing the climate, by putting these giant solar farms together. Not a good thing. Again, I love alternative energy, but how about we try something like, I don't know, nuclear? There was a time back in the 80s where they said they actually created this really cool nuclear reactor. It was about the size of a washing machine. And they had one for that one nuclear reactor, the size of a washing machine, was enough to power the average city block. Go figure.
Yeah. There is a resurgence of nuclear energy coming. It's happening now. And you know who's driving it? Companies that are building these massive cloud server farms, because they need more power and they need more cheap energy, if you will, cheap electricity.
AI is going to require a lot of energy.
AI requires a lot. So that's why these are coming back.
Couple things that we missed. One, we did have on our agenda to talk about the Dems that are going to boycott the inaugural. What I have to say about that is, thank you very much. It's very nice of you to leave those seats, because, by the way, Donald Trump wants to invite Xi Jinping. So the fact that AOC is not going to go gives a seat for Xi. How about that?
I think it's first off, I think it's a disgrace for those leaders to not come. But you know what? At the same time, you won't be missed. You will not be missed.
David, you and I and everyone else on this cast would be guilty of using the same language that you just did. They are not our leaders. They are our servants. servants. They are our servants. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but that's a fact. They serve us. They're supposed to serve us. And they have been telling us this lie for so long that they are our leaders. They're political leaders. They're the ones who guide us. They know better than us, and they've said it. They're not our leaders. And quite frankly, if they don't want to go, fine. They're going to lower the carbon footprint of this event.
I am calling my senator, and I'm going to say it would be a disgrace for you not to go there and be part of the inauguration. On the other hand, she is the grouchiest, angriest, gavel pounding. She's the one pounding the gavel in a video you played last week, Jay Paul. But she needs to go there, be part of the crowd, and kind of feel some of the real joy, some of the real positive energy, some of the enthusiasm for what this country should be and what it's likely to become. And maybe
Alice nailed it. They for some reason they have this vision of their own grandeur that if they don't go, it's going to ruin the event. No, actually, it'll make it better. We don't want people there that don't want to celebrate it. The people that should be there are the ones that want to celebrate this incoming transition of power.
Exactly.
If you don't want to be there, don't show up, please. But don't. It's like these people that say, "I'm leaving X for good." Okay, I didn't know you were here in the first place.
I saw a few of those. This is one of the last tweets you're going to see from me. One of the last ones.
How did I see this one? I don't get it.
Why did this? Right? Why is this showing up in my feed? I thought you were gone.
If Trump wins, I'm moving to Australia. Okay, bye. Good. Why? Are you looking for a quote for your moving company or what? I don't get it.
What do you need? How can I help expedite this thing?
Hey,
Anyways,
listen, if you haven't done so yet, please hit the thumbs up. And also, if you're not following us, please give us a follow. When you hit that thumbs up, and I know that there's one below you, whether that be on any of the platforms we're on, we are on YouTube and we're on X and we're on Rumble. Hit that thumbs up, please. It helps other people find the channel. And we're having so much fun tonight. We hope you are too.
I hope you are too. Okay. That's the inauguration. Peaceful transfer of power to get to the inauguration. What did we miss? Anything else? You talked about Syria. I don't know.
No, I didn't talk. I just wanted to say there's a lot of stuff about Syria coming out there. There's people that are saying that Israel is trying to conquer territory from Syria. I think that they've moved into the Golan Heights, or they're protecting the Golan Heights at this point. They're not trying to conquer anything. They're not grabbing land. They're not moving in. At least at this point, they're not. And so, be careful of what you take in. Be careful of who is saying it. That's kind of why this unfold. To panic over it, I think is probably not the right move. I think that there's a lot of good things that have happened. I love the fact that they took out that chemical weapons plant. I love the speculation that they took out an Iranian nuclear weapons development plant. Those are two really good things. We do know that they took out a chemical weapons plant. We're not 100% positive about the nuke plant yet.
Yeah. And I hope that there's not. I don't know. This is really tough. I hope there's not an aggressive retaliation or response from any of the countries that are armed. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I showed that one explosion from earlier. That was a massive explosion. That's not a small one.
What's really interesting is if we take what happened, in that 10-day period, and then you look back at the interactions between Israel and Iran, you have to now look at it from the lens of how much of this was softening up the battlefield for them to go in there. Because remember, Iran had a lot of bases in Syria. So were they ruining some of the capability of Iran to retaliate? And looking at it through the lens of hindsight, I'm thinking maybe there was some of that going on.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I just see if I can do this without breaking it. I agree. God bless Israel.
All right. David, I think we've kind of gone our lot tonight. It's been fun. And the people at home have stayed with us. So we're happy about that. It's pretty fun. And by golly, we're getting close to Christmas, aren't we?
It's not next week. It's the week after. I looked. It's coming. It's almost here. It's going to be great.
and Christmas will preempt our Wednesday show. We will not have any form of any show on Christmas Day. We're going to honor the day for what it is. How about that?
By the way, according to Hanukkah begins December 25th also, which is, I had to look at this like 4 times. I can't remember ever in my lifetime where Hanukkah started the same day as Christmas, but I thought that was interesting.
Maybe we could get producer Marie to look into that for us, and we could report on that on this upcoming Wednesday show. Hey, I'm trying to get a special guest on for the Wednesday show. It'll be a lot of fun. And if there isn't the special guest, we'll still make it fun. We really appreciate you guys being here tonight. We're going to talk more about the quick hits, if you will, unless something big happens between now and then. There are some more protests about some of these Trump picks. What's interesting is I'm seeing the Hegseth thing starting to get a little bit more momentum. I heard Lisa Murkowski, she's like, oh yeah, so the people are starting to get upset if we step out of line and don't go with Trump's picks. These MAGA people are going to spank us down. It's like, yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's about it. They're going to primary us. Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
That's how it works. Because go back to that part where I said you work for us.
Yeah. Oh, Holman, you work for us. Oh, I love it.
But anyway, we'll talk some more about those things. Wednesday show, if I do get the guest booked, it'll be a lot of fun. There's some deep insight that I think we're going to gain from that visitor, and I just look forward to it. I guarantee that he will be here at some point, but I'm trying to get him for Wednesday night. In the meantime, Dave, I hope you have a comfortable new living arrangement in the temporary quarters until the wind damaged, tree damaged home of yours, of the David household, gets better.
Thank you.
And with that, I think I'm going to end with the "What Will We Do" ad from Trump. By the way, can't wait for the new dark MAGA hats to come out, which I'll keep you guys posted. We'll also keep you posted on the bingo.
I do love that. I will.
All right, everybody, hit that thumbs up. And if you're not following us already, please do so. Thank you guys for being here. We love each and every one of you. Have a good week.
Have a great night.
What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing.
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? The sweet emotion raining all over me.
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
American afternoon.